It is live once again. Stream back on, baby. Getting the scrub brush. I'll be muted. I'm just gonna be right back to get some water. Cause believe it or not, casting for 2 hours does take a toll on your voice. Be right back. Oh wait, I can use this be right back thing. There we go. Oh my god, look at how beautiful that tool is. Okie dokie. Let's take a look at this pick. Let's take a look at this pick and ban. First off, Lissandra, Ari, and Fiora. Pretty quick. Just bam, bam, bam. Getting them out of the way. Oh my god. We have a spammer in the Twitch chat. You kidding me? Ban. Ha ha ha. Get out of here, Marcis. Alright, anyways. Seki, the BM against my champ pool. Pretty typical. This Fiora, Darius, Mordekaiser, all the OP new champions. Spooknook going to that Yasuo. Saw him last game on... Actually, I forgot which champion he was playing last game, but... looks like he wants to play a mid laner. So we'll see if that comes through. Meanwhile, all the banned champions are actually mid laners themselves, so... Just doing it only against Seki. I've been trained since before. Oh baby. This is it's pretty interesting. Island Boys training quite a lot. Anyways, Gameplank first insta-lock from Spooknook, and actually I think he played Gameplank 2 games ago, so he's pretty comfortable on that champion. We'll see what he can pull through with that. I was pretty impressed with it. And that is a champion that does not have a lot of engage, but you do have the slightly global map pressure because you have Cannon Barrage that can hit anywhere at any point in time, as well as the fact that it scales so well. Pretty much you can 1v1 anyone in the late game if you know how to play it correctly. It looks like the counter so far is Lee Sin and Cassiopeia. Interesting. Lee Sin hasn't been quite as popular since the Warrior's Blade got nerfed, and they took off 5 auto attack damage from it in favor of the Cinderhulk a few months ago. But he can still do a lot of work in the right hands, and Cassiopeia is a champion that can completely take over a game if she's played well herself. But against something like a Gameplank Thresh, who are both good at... Well, Thresh is good at catching out Cassiopeia because she's pretty prone to hooks and the like. But then Gameplank is so mobile, and he can eat out of her ultimate and just pretty much walk around her until she dies. So that might be a little difficult for her to stay alive if she is in a solo lane against him at any point. But she'll probably be staying with the team in the mid lane, so won't be seeing that too much. And what top lane are we going to see? Tristana being hovered with, oh boy, best summoners in the game, Clairvoyant's Clarity. You know, sometimes you just need to know where you're going, and you need the mana to get there, so... Actually, a Yasuo top going to be coming in. So two very high damage, low engaged top laners, and I'd want to see something like an Ashe or a Callista come out from the blue, or sorry, the red AD carry, because blue has already picked Vayne on Hypergothic, but looks like it will be the Tristana. Island Boy, hopefully he changes his summoners. I guess I won't judge him. Well, I'll probably judge him, because Flash heals infinitely better than Clairvoyance Clarity, but that may or may not be the case. If they get a pretty strong support, one thing you could do is Tristana can abuse Vayne's weak early game and get a lot of early tower pressure down. So especially with a very strong early game jungler like Lee Sin, you can focus that bottom side and really hit down those turrets, get some of that map pressure. And a lot of things we've seen in LCS is that after you get the pressure, you just swap back to the top side and then get that turret, and now you have two outer turrets and you can focus the mid lane while the side lanes are pushing against them. What's raid call? It won't work. That is not what I want to copy paste him. Let me grab the raid call ID real quick. There we go. Alright, so meanwhile, while we're discussing that, there's actually Xerath and Mumu. So interesting. Their team composition on the blue side doesn't quite have that great synergy. Amumu is a pretty strong gauge, so that is something they did desperately need on the team, so that's good, but Vayne and Xerath are champions that really want a lot of peel, and especially against the Lee Sin Leona is what it's looking like. Obviously, they did not see the Leona beforehand, but you need to be aware of the dangers of possibilities like things like Leona, or even Alistar, or something that is similar in terms of how strongly engages. But yeah, Vayne and Xerath really have little peel here, unless Amumu can get a really good ultimate on the enemy team before they're able to dive them. And even then, a Solar Flare can come out. And Island Boy saying, why take Flash? That's a great question, buddy. I will let you know when I figure it out, but seems like everyone's liking it. One thing I will point out is that he does have Flash on the wrong key, because you need to have your Flash on D, because it's D for displacement, F for fire. And I guess he's not running Ignite, but
that is so fucking true.
You know it. Thank you, Cabal, for that interjection. And alright, looks like this will be what they lock in. Spooknook and Hypergolic swapping around to get the champions that they want. Gonna be Xerath in the mid lane. And, but yeah, like I was saying, they want a lot of peel, and Amumu gonna be going in. It's gonna be hard for the blue team to follow up if there's a Lee Sin and Leona in their face, because what I'm guessing we'll see a lot of is that Amumu might get kind of separated from the team, and then the purple side can pick off Amumu while the blue side's just dealing with the front line. And then I don't know if they'll be able to deal with the front line in time, because Leona is the champion for aggressive lockdown. But the red side does have a really strong early game on the bottom side, so I want to see them focus that, maybe get the turret and an early dragon so they can start stacking that up, because also when you have something like an Amumu, obviously getting engaged upon near the dragon pit is fairly dangerous, but you do still have the Cassiopeia, who is fantastic for counter engaging with her petrifying gaze. Yeah. I'm curious to see how the Yasuo versus Gangplank top will be. I think it'll be difficult for Gangplank to get a lead early, simply because your powder kegs are very slow in the early game, both in their rate at which they recharge and in terms of how quickly their HP stacks go down, so you can then trigger them. And if Yasuo begins dashing around, it'll be very difficult for Gangplank to actually get a lot of that damage off. So he might have to resort to just using parlay or autos to get that damage, which is not optimal, and you really want to be using the parlay for CSing. So hopefully he'll just try to wave clear, but it's also a possible avenue through which Lee Sin can gank. Obviously a little bit harder to lock down Gangplank, just because he has Remove Scurvy, but if Yasuo lands a good knockup, Remove Scurvy, you still get knocked up, so... I believe Remove Scurvy allows you to react after that, like if you were to use the orange and then flash, but there's still a lot of damage in that top side for both teams, so if either side ganks, it could be a pretty productive endeavor. It looks like a lot of these people aren't on raid call, so we'll won't be looking for maybe as much coordinated play as you might have been able to see if they were, but 30 seconds into the game, or 30 seconds from entering the game, important to note that Seraph and Cassiopeia went barrier and cleanse respectively. So I think Cassiopeia will be wanting to cleanse the Amumu hook or the Xerath stun, while Xerath there's no ignite on the red side, so Xerath's barrier might have been better if it was a heal, but if Cassiopeia wants to build the Morello's, if Cassiopeia were to build a Morello's, that heal probably would have been as effective. Although that being said, I don't think Morello's is a very common standard build path for Cassiopeia. You want to get either Athene's or the tier for superior mana regeneration into Leandry's or Rylai's. Or you can even go with a really high damage instead of more utility like the Rylai's in terms of a Death Cap or a Luden's. So getting into this game, we'll see Vayne, Light of Dawn, has rank 5 mastery, although Medea has a rank 5 mastery on Yasuo. And we've seen Yasuo in every single one of these games, I think. So we'll see how this one matches up against Spook Nuke 15. And I also want to see if C9 High's Balls decides to invade the jungle early, because Amumu is a champion that has a lot of struggles in the early game. So a champion like Lee Sin, who's very good at dueling enemy champions and who can clear more healthily, has the opportunity to invade and set Amumu even further behind. Good luck all, Pandarin Alehouse says, and thank you, Pandarin. Good luck to you too. Flashing some of their mastery icons. Looks like Tristana is actually not quite loaded in the game yet, but that is mirrored by the Thresh on the other side. And wait, that is in the correct position. Nice champion pool, Seki. That is Spook Nuke banning. They are friends, so they know their champions fairly well, and all 3 of Spook Nuke's bans were toward that middle lane. We'll see if it actually will make a difference, though, because Cassiopeia is a champion where if you're comfortable with her, she can absolutely eat teams alive in the manner of a snake, if you would. So Cassiopeia saying, I'll target by myself and still have champions. Some friendly banter. The Gangplank just wearing those sunglasses on his smiley face. Both sides go very safe start. They both throw out wards in this pixel brush just to see that there are no cheese invades. We do not see anything hyper aggressive like the Blitzcrank that we saw 2 games ago, which is obviously the best one for picking out champions at level 1, but they will just be starting pretty standard. Also, important to note that Vol Caliber on Amumu is going to be starting the Krugs. Sometimes you'll see champions, especially AP junglers, that don't have as strong of an early game just start directly on the red buff and then go toward the blue buff afterwards, and that'll give you you'll end your clear in a much healthier way, and then you can do wolves in between or the Razor Beaks since they have nerfed them in terms of early game damage. And now, second Hypergolic going to be trading back some of that poke, but no one really comes out too far ahead. And you can see Medea actually starts off with those dashes. Going to be leveling that up at in the beginning just to be able to build the flow and maneuver around to try to get free auto attacks off onto Spook Nuke. And you can see there's one coming out there. Actually, C9 Highs Balls, let's go for the invade. This is also why you want the Amumu to start red in the first place, so this doesn't happen. And looks like he doesn't get the kill, but now Lee Sin might be able to get that red buff, or at least prevent Amumu from doing it himself. And actually, Lee Sin's going to be going for an instant level 2 gank. Amumu's trying to ping him in danger, but they're not listening, and unfortunately, C9 Highs Balls actually opened with the Sonic Wave, so that means that he did not have it for follow-up damage. What you really want to do if you're coming in at a great flank like that is just really walk up to the enemy champion and use your Tempest. Actually, okay, he does not have the Tempest and Cripple because he's still level 2, but you can still just walk up and start autoing them first, because then it's much easier to land your Sonic Wave as opposed to doing it from far away. And he's lands it there. I don't think he wants to go in. You can actually flay a Lee Sin out of the resonating strike if you time it properly. So I think C9 Highs Balls was a little wary of that, especially since how now the bottom side is level 2 and does no longer have that level advantage. He will be getting his own blue buff though after killing that Grom straight, and Amumu is able to successfully clear his own red buff. So all in all, nothing really different for either of these people, except now Amumu's actually ahead, because Amumu has cleared 3 camps, has 9 CS over Lee Sin's 4, and Lee Sin has not been able to successfully get a gank off, and he is still level 2. So actually starting very well for Amumu in terms of abusing Lee Sin's early game power. It was not used successfully, and that's the trade-off you go for when making risky early game plays like that. Lee Sin is still not level 3 after clearing the Rift Sculler, so he's just going to go and try to level up as soon as he can, so maybe he can make an impact on the top side. Meanwhile, Spook Nuke will be getting some of that powder keg damage down onto Medea, but it doesn't really matter. Medea using that sweeping blade to get into there and get a lot of free autos off. So, like I said, having that early game mobility on the Yasuo is going to be pretty useful. And actually, they're going in onto Island Boy. He gets a flight into the max range death sentence. First blood comes out. Vayne finishes off with a flashy condemn. Well played by them, even though blue side got ganked. The great ability to harass from them allowed them to win that trade favorably. And that's one problem with Leona as a support, is that if your lane starts falling behind, then you really don't have many opportunities to try to have a presence in the lane or allow your AD carries some peace of mind. Because if you're not going all in on Leona, then your champion doesn't really do much overall. Thresh does have the ranged auto attack poke, and Vayne is able to tumble around and get those autos. So if Leona is not using her Zenith Blade or her shield to stun, then it just pretty much lets Vayne and Thresh get a lot of free poke. And an early lead in this bottom lane will be able to give Vayne a Bilgewater Cutlass start. So we'll see if they are able to snowball that. Lee Sin does set up a little ward in that Pixel Brush. If you'll excuse me for 1 second, I need to ban somebody in the chat because I hate them. Just kidding, they're advertising championship ribbon codes, and that's no cool, man. And Panda and Alehouse actually commenting that Thresh had a good flay on the rocket jump. Yeah, that's actually crucial for that. Pretty much allowing them to get that kill, so really good timing from Kimchi on that champion. And also Light of Dawn used that auto condemn. Well, actually, he throws out the Dark Passage. I think he was just trying to intimidate the red side, and they get a favorable trade in as a result because of Vayne's Silver Bolts being able to do that percent max health damage. And Amumu going to be coming in now. I think the Dark Passage will be up, yes. So if Amumu's here, they can Lantern him in for an engage. I think he just wants to be able to get the Skull Crab. And Hypergolic and Seki trading a little bit in the mid lane, but seems pretty even so far in terms of trading. However, actually, Xerath is down a lot in CS. Once he starts building some of that mana regen and gets that higher rank Q, he'll be able to clear waves much more easily. And actually, Kimchi opens with a Flay. Those boots providing crucial engage. And yeah, even though Tristana was able to rocket jump that time, that's the problem with Leona. If you're not going all in, then you just kind of sit there and die. So you can see that Amumu, nice job coming in to help out with that early game pressure, and Thresh abusing the fact that they were overextending a little bit. Also, Lee Sin was not quite there as early as you would want, so actually the game plan coming out, Cannon Barrage will not be able to finish him off, but still doing tons of damage to Tristana. That means they get a double kill because very actually well executed on that dive. Vayne was just tanking until they killed them both. I think Amumu came in as the initial tank, and then he moved out after they got the first kill to swap aggro to the Vayne, which she could take because she's still at full health. So very well played from this bottom side. Vayne is 4-0, and I talked about how blue team didn't have a lot of peel, but if you're Vayne and you're really fed, a lot of times you can kind of self-peel. Maybe not against Cassiopeia, who will just instantly burst you, but against something like a Yasuo, you can really just keep tumbling and try to outplay your opponent. Just so long as you don't get chain stunned by the Leona Cassiopeia. And so, we'll see if Gangplank is able to scale a little bit and help out his team some more. He did get that assist off of the Cannon Barrage, so very good map awareness. I talked about how maybe they wouldn't have the best communication if they're non-raid call, but I believe they might even be in Skype just together. So being able to instantly use that Cannon Barrage was pretty helpful on that gank. And Lee Sin starts with the mobility boots and the skirmisher saber for the challenging smite, which is again a pretty greedy play, but we'll see if it works out. He actually uses his smite there, but Seki's petrifying gaze did not land. Good flash from Hypergolic. We'll see if they follow up again to attack him again. And actually the Frump getting a little close in this engage. He gets kind of trapped by the box, and he goes down against the Thresh Vayne combo again. So it's going to be pretty difficult for them to stay alive in this lane. But if they really want to, they could have Cassiopeia try to shove out this mid lane before Xerath really gets the ability to instantly clear it with his 2 abilities, and then have them 4-gank that bottom lane. That might be what they need to do, but I don't know if they can do it yet because they're about to lose the tower. Meanwhile, Medea, even in the top side, gonna be getting that that aggression. Even though Gangplank does have the... Oh my gosh, he actually flashes in to get the knockup with the Steel Tempest. Great play by Medea, knowing exactly how much burst he can do and the range of his abilities. Amumu gonna be in the top side now. Medea tries to dash through him, but Curse of the Sad Mummy comes out. Now Medea using the... Oh my gosh. He's trying to sweep through as far as he can, but Amumu's just crying everywhere. He's so sad. So sad that Yasuo decided to die. That's really sad if I've ever seen it. Making somebody else die, but... Actually, Cassiopeia flashes forward. I don't know if they're going to be able to finish this off. The poison is taking, and she gets the last Twin Fang off. That's exactly what I was talking about, getting Cassiopeia to roam down. And now they get the ZF Blade onto Light of Dawn. A perfect follow-up from everyone else. Shutdown goes to Lee Sin. He's going to be able to catch up to Amumu a little bit. He's still down 500 gold because Amumu has just been constantly farming. But they are going to be pushing this bottom turret and rotate possibly toward the dragon. Vayne saying, whoops, that was a mistake by me. She did actually tumble aggressively in that fight, which is probably not the best decision, you know, but LCS fail plays, that would be indeed. And that they do get that first early dragon, so that will be pretty helpful going forward if they can continue to stack those up. 11 minutes and 45 seconds is fairly early to do it. Fairly early to start the dragon in a more disorganized team. Sometimes you'll see like LCS teams do it really early, like pre 10 minutes, but I don't really think you can expect that from random people playing together. Although these aren't random people, we're best friends because we go to the University of Maryland. Or at least know somebody that goes there, so let's see if what did Yasuo build off that? So interestingly, he went for the Phage. Now, the Average Blade is a pretty standard first buy, but a lot of times you'll see that turn into the Static Ship immediately. It looks like he wants to be a little greedy on its value, though, so he'll be keeping that in his pocket. He's already earned 200 bonus gold, which is equivalent to an assist and a little more. But yeah, going to be building toward that Triforce instead, and oh my god, C9 High's ball's actually just war jumping in, and Hypergolic, his flash is still down, so just well played by them, gets that war jump into a pretty free Dragon's Rage, and they give another kill to their mid laner. Now that they killed the mid lane, Lee Sin's also going to be able to roam bottom. This is pretty much what Red Team needed to do to get back in this game. Put the pressure mid and then move it over to bottom, because if you were to just try to force the pressure bottom without getting the help from mid, it might be a little too much to ask for. But now Amumu's coming down, actually, and I don't think they want to do this 3v3. Vayne is 5-1. She already has her finished Blade of the Ruin King, whereas Tristana only has the pickaxe. Leona, you need to back up, because if you get hooked, you're going down. Same goes for Tristana, and Lee Sin's actually leaving, so if anyone gets hooked there, that's instantly dead. Looks like that will be, unfortunately, be Leona. She uses the Zenith Blade to actually gap close. Oh my gosh! Is she going to be able to get out of this? Oh! C9 High's ball stands on top of her. No! Spook Nuke gets the kill! I wanted to see you live, buddy. Oh, man. What an escape that would have been, but again, really good map pressure from the Gangplank using his global. However, the fact that he uses Cannon Barrage already means that Medea will probably act a little more aggressively in this lane. You can see him already shoving into the turret, and he might even proxy farm behind the turret if he really wants to, because they know that the jungler is down on the bottom side. Will instead just kind of stay at the top, try to stack up some poke, and now Cassiopeia is actually really far forward. Thresh has mobility boots, so I don't think she's going to get away, but she actually uses his hook on C9 High's ball's a great death sentence, but he flashes and then one jumps over the wall. Oh, wait, is he going to be able to dodge? Oh my god. These plays. So, really nice dodge from Lee Sin, knowing that the follow-up would be coming out almost instantly if he were to just flash away without doing anything else, but somehow Spook Nuke has actually turned around the damage onto Medea that removes Scurvy. Healing is so good now because it scales with your missing health, so it does not cost a lot of mana, but it heals for much more. So Gangplank just pretty much overall is just super buffed. And Yasuo starting with the Average Blade, and not, if he had started with the Sheen, he might have had that he might have had the Triforce a little earlier, but he's actually going to be finishing the stack shift. Just wanted the Phage for the extra movement speed, but now C9 High's balls is a little bit caught out. He will use the Dragon's Rage and the good cancel on the TP from Medea. But meanwhile, Seki abusing Hypergolics, running out of mana, and forces the flash out for the Petrifying Gaze. We'll see if Lee Sin is able to capitalize on that yet again. We saw that he did gank after the Xerath flash was burned the first time, so the Frump actually taking a lot of damage from Light of Dawn, but he actually lands the max range Zenith Blade. Tristana is pretty low though, so ooh, Light of Dawn actually flashes outside of the Solar Flare. Are they gonna be able to get the kill under it? No, she's so low. I think the Frump needs to back off here. I don't think you win this trade, but that's gonna be a double kill, 1v2. So crucially, Light of Dawn was able to flash out of that Solar Flare. If Leona was able to kind of chain that Q-stun into the Solar Flare, they might have gotten the kill, but oh my gosh, a flash death sentence from Kimchi, but an instant cleanse means that Seki will be able to get out of there. A little bit disappointing because that was a pretty fun play to watch, but really good zoning from Spook Nuke here with his powder kegs. And they're just waiting 1 minute, I guess, for the dragon to spawn. They really need to clear out that mid lane so that they can have a little more pressure on this turret. But actually now Medea going to be face checking this bush against his opposition. And Thresh lands another hook. Kimchi's been really on point with all these hooks, and you can see it. He's almost James Bond here, just 017. Does not have a license to kill, but that's okay because he wants to give the kills to his AD carry. And Vayne needs to be careful. She's kind of by herself. If Leona were to get the Zenith Blade, okay, she does go for a more safe. Oh, actually, Amumu goes in with the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and now Lee Sin gonna be. Oh no, that's Leona trying to finish up Amumu here, but. Oh, here's a Zerathul. Is it going to finish anyone off? No. Light of Dawn is the only one that's able to kill one person up. Or clean up one person, rather. And now, red team is barely staying at this turret. This is super dangerous because Xerath is still at full health. He still has half his mana, so he can get some max range poke out if he really wants to. And he has built the Athens, and with his new passive, or, well, not new passive, but with his passive where after you cast an ability, you can auto a minion to regain mana. Actually, C9 High's Balls goes in for the Insect and catches out Spooknook, realizing that the rest of the team had gone to rotate to a dragon, picks up that kill barely well, so really good presence of mind. Actually, Medea flashes forward for that knockup and throws on the wind ball, and here comes Cassiopeia. Seki getting another kill. What the heck is going on here? Volcalibur is now going to go down. I don't think he can catch up to Medea. Sorry, Amumu. Cry more, but not enough. 4 for 0 in exchange for the dragon. Really ballsy flash by Medea, but the instant follow-up from Cassiopeia really made that work. So again, I was saying maybe they wouldn't have that good communication, but these engages are really on point. And now Tristana can be able to pick up some of that farm, which she desperately needs, down 30 CS already. Whereas, whoa! Look at that mid lane, Seki doing work. So those bans that he was targeted against apparently were not enough, because Xerath is at 83 CS, almost just half of what Seki has. So he's going to be a scary, scary snake. We'll see him bite like a basilisk. While Vayne is solo pushing the bottom side. And she needs to watch out. She does have a couple wards, but they are about to expire. So you don't have vision of Lee Sin. You need to kind of back off, but luckily for her, she doesn't need to worry about that. Now Spooknook spots out Lee Sin in the top side. They probably will lose that turret, though, because nobody's in range, and I don't think he wants to use his ultimate because it would not clear the minion wave fast enough. But Seki just going to be continuing to farm, taking the game a little slower now. Blue team started off so far ahead with Vayne, and Vayne is still so far ahead, but such good plays coming out from the solo lanes and the junglers on the red side, being able to instigate these fights. And now, again, Lee Sin comes through, knows that the Xerath flash is still down, being able to get that kill. A great solar flare! Let's Yasuo get a 3-man knockup, and now here comes out the Cannon's Barrage, but it will not be enough to finish off Yasuo. But wait, here comes Vayne! She's here. Oh my gosh! I don't think Yasuo can stick around here. If he gets hit once by Vayne, he's going to go down instantly. There it is. Triple kill. Is that the quadra kill? I don't know. Spooknook is here. He wants to get C9 high as balls. He needs to hit him with a powder keg. Ooh, he's just going to be parlaying him. Getting that booty. Give it over. Oh, wow. Actually, Tristana trades force Vayne. So an ace, but they got the shutdown onto Vayne, so probably not worth it for the red side. But despite the fact that Leona had an amazing old solar flare into the 3-man Yasuo last breath, they did not have their flanks properly warded, which allowed Vayne to kind of sneak in on the side and clean up the rest of the kills. And Vayne really excels in this skirmishing environment, especially when she has the Blade of the Ruin King, Phantom Dancer, and Last Whisper completed, as opposed to Tristana's Infinity Edge. And Infinity Edge isn't even as strong as, oh wow, good barrel positioning by Spooknook. But even though Tristana has her one item, and Infinity Edge is probably one of the weakest single items you can have. Actually, I'll talk about that later. Seki tries to cleanse, but there's just too much damage coming out. Now C9 High's Balls jumps in with the ward, but gonna have to back out there as well. Now that Xerath has his Athens and a fully ranked up Q, he's gonna be doing work to this minion wave. A flash necessary from Island Boy, and Lee Sin actually goes in for the insect, doesn't quite get it in the proper angle, but a good solar flare comes out. Is Tristana gonna be able to clean up here? Where is the Vayne? That's the question everyone wants to know. She's actually in the bottom side now. Amumu gets a follow-up. He gets a Crystal Sand Mummy on 3 people, and now Xerath got so much damage from his ultimate, and Kimchi is still alive! Oh my gosh, Amumu does turn around though with Spook Nuke. Oh my gosh, they still turn it around even without Vayne. They get the 4-man kill, or 4 kills total. Gonna be able to clean up that turret, and the red side just ran out of ways to engage on the enemy. The Solar Flare was a great start, but they did not have the great Dragon Rage follow-up because Dragon Rage was used earlier for a solo ultimate, I believe, from Yasuo. So then that means that once Xerath and well, not Vayne because she wasn't there, but once Xerath was able to back up a little and Amumu could pin them down, they just did tons of damage with the Gangplank and Xerath spells. And now Light of Dawn is actually going to be trying to 1v3 here. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but he actually flashes out. Is he going to get 1 kill? Yes! Where's the nether kill? Oh, he does get knocked up by the Steel Tempest, but throws C9 High's ball into the wall, and now he dodges another Steel Tempest. I don't think he was looking for that 1v5 pentakill, but I don't think he was getting it, and very well played. He got hit by 1 knockup, but dodged the next one, although just too much flat damage coming out from Tristana and Yasuo to really get that through. Still traded 1 for 1 and the turret, so not the end of the world. But that will be important for Red Team's ability to ward for the dragon. They can now get through the jungle without much of that minion lane pressure, because the minion waves will not bounce back against the outer turrets. So once they push a wave, it'll go much farther and they can feel more comfortable in seeing the enemy's map movements. Tristana actually just soloing the dragon. No wards from blue team. They need to throw one down at least. Come on, Thresh, please. And there's 1 ward. Oh, but here's a Mumu actually. I don't think they want to continue doing this. Actually, it goes to Gangplank, and now Tristana gets held up by the wall. I mean, by the box, and Volcalibur with a great follow-up hook on Amumu. But now they're kind of caught out because there's 3 people from the red team all kind of here. But here comes Light of Dawn with the flank. They need to focus onto Vayne or just back out entirely. And now C9 High's balls tried to focus it, but the rest of his team wasn't there. And then Leona sticks around, so that's another 2 kills for the blue team. So really good dancing around by blue side, knowing that Vayne was there to come clean it up. And Lee Sin should have probably just backed out there, seeing that the rest of his team was trying to go up through this choke point. But instead, he tried to go in. Alas, a 14-3 Vayne is not something you can toy with very easily, especially if you're blind. Maybe that was it. Maybe he's just blind, so he couldn't see the scorecard. That's quite possible, I believe. Oh, man. We did see Kimchi have some pretty clutch Thresh hooks, although we haven't seen them very recently. It's possible that one happened in the fight, and with all the chaos, I actually missed it, but he does get a hook onto Medea. That's going to be enough to finish him off, but no! He actually gets the ultimate off first. Volcalibur going down a little bit. Here comes, oh my gosh, the damage coming out from Gangplank and Vayne, but here, a great petrifying gaze, and the Dragon's Rage into the Xerath ultimate. I can't imagine that was planned, but it worked perfectly. And now Volcalibur going in, but Tristana is still alive. Are they going to be able to kill Spook Nuke? Oh my god, they're just kiting back and forth. I don't know who's going to go down here. It looks like the Xerath's superior range was able to contribute while Tristana was not. So the blue team gets a favorable kill. And again, they're continuing to extend that goal lead. 10,000 gold up now, and you can see that they have so much vision in this bottom side jungle, whereas the red team does have decent warding, and all things considered, because they've kind of lost map control because they can't really duel very well. But just very well played by the blue side, and you can see that They probably set up all those wards so that they knew where they were going and what the flanks were. Although they did not have this bush warded, so that might have been helpful if one of the aggressors on the red side were trying to flank. But nevertheless, they do have 2 dragons now with that 10,000 gold lead and a 14-4 Vayne. Although since I've last mentioned her score, she has just died, so we'll see if that continues to be the case. And they're kind of just clearing vision around. Good job by red side. Lee Sin really doing everything he can here. A couple of his ganks weren't really working out. And actually Kimchi lands a hook onto the Frub. I don't think they want to follow through with this because red team is right there already. But, oh, Tristana using a rocket jump. That's kind of a dangerous path to take. Meanwhile, speaking of dangerous pathing, the Frub has to burn his solar flare to try to get away. And he will escape with his life, but that means that they'll give up pressure on this inhibitor. Now they can't go in. They lost their primary engage lockdown from the Leona, so Vayne can pretty much hit this turret for free once they get a full health minion wave. But actually, Island Boy getting engaged on by full caliber, but not enough damage because the rest of his team isn't there. You can see how much damage Xerath and Gangplank do, though. Ooh, rocket jump comes out of the last set, and now Seki tries to use his petrifying engage to stop the damage, but Spook Nuke doesn't even need to be there, just throws out the power cake. A good snipe by C9 Highsballs to kill Mumu, but follow-up CC is too strong, but actually Medea gets one knockup. Oh my god, they get so much AoE. The Vayne gets instantly locked up by the Leona. Really well played by the front there, keeping his head cool and being able to kill her. And now Tristana goes down, but that's a triple kill. An ace for the red side. Is this going to be the comeback? It looks like Dragon's up in 2 minutes. They might just want to do the Baron right now because nobody can be up to contest that. C9 Highsball is very low though, so I don't know if he'll be able to tank it. So I think they're just going to push out some of these waves and go back. Looks like they'll try to get this tower. The Frump is going to tank it a little bit. You probably don't want to die there, buddy. Yeah, gonna be jumping off right when the minions come, so good aggro swoop. Here comes Volcaliber. Yeah, and I don't think I really like that decision to stick around for the turret because, especially without the minion wave there immediately, you couldn't put that much damage down. And now that there's only 1 minute for the dragon, if blue team want to, they could go sweep all this vision and just set up control around there. But looks like they're actually going to start the Baron immediately. Speaking of the fact that red team lost pressure because they have to go back now after that pushing that tower. A really bold call here from Volcaliber, just starting this off. And now you actually see the red team just coming around. They try to peek it out, or scout it out rather, but it's too little too late. And now, run away, Medea! That Vayne is too scary. She thinks you're a demon and she's about to hunt you. Oh my god, he's dancing! He thinks he can just toy with his enemy. Toy with his food, maybe, but I don't know if he's going to be for a good dodge on that Sonic Wave. But actually, a Dark Passage lets Spooknu come into this backline. C9 Highsball is a little bit caught out here. He does land the Sonic Wave. Is he going to go for the Resonating Strike? No, he actually just goes down. Solar Flare comes out, but the rest of the team can't follow up now since they lost Lee Sin. So that's just another cooldown down for red side. Now, Cassiopeia tries to finish him off. Yes, the Explosive Charge and the Poison are enough. They lost all their a lot of their damage. They still have Spook Nuke and Hypergolic, but Hypergolic might be going down here. Or good ultimate from Medea. She kills one. Or he kills one, rather. And Volcaliber goes in, gets the Curse of the Sad Mummy off. Spook Nuke is so healthy and does so much damage, though. You can see how well that Gangplank really scales into the late game. The From needs to get out of here because he can get instantly blown up by Gangplank. Whoa! He actually gets the kill. Stuns Gangplank under the tower, so oh my god. That is crazy. He got the Zenith Blade onto Gangplank, so Gangplank wasn't able to, oh my god, so many outplays! But here comes the Resonating Strike. He flays the Zenith Blade, so they get the 2 kills under the tower. One because Leona locked down Gangplank, the other because I think that was a Mumu just kind of, well, the other person just kind of walked around and took free damage from the turret hits. But then the Flay on the Zenith Blade means that C9 Highsball is the only survivor in that whole fight. Leona OP indeed from Spook Nuke. Jesus. And now the dragon is live, so No ward from either team anywhere near here. This is completely dark. But that means they will go to the blue side. They will get that third dragon that gives him extra movement speed. Or gives the whole team extra movement speed. Doesn't give the dragon extra movement speed because he's pretty fat. He needs all the help he can get. But wow, that was an interesting interaction with the Condemn. Used it mid-jump, so Tristana still traveled the distance, but then was stunned upon her arrival. Now Spooknook trying to duel Medea. Oh my god, so much damage coming out from both these people. The wind wall proving to be the most important factor, though. Prevents Spooknook from being able to detonate that powder keg. Amumu saying Spook is so bad. Oh man, but he blew up like a nuke, true to his name. That means that blue side can get a, now might have to back off from here since they don't have the top side pressure. But Thresh and Amumu are just sitting around this Baron. I don't know what they're doing up there. There's nothing to do. Now Hypergolic is pretty far out. A good decision by C9 Highsballs to fall back a little, though, because Vayne was there if he decided to go in. There are all 5 team members on this red side, though, so if they were to engage by the Frump's Zenith or Solar Flare, they could probably make a fight work. Spooknook is back up. He does have teleport, so now the fight would be pretty precarious. Well, they'd be in a pretty precarious position if they decide to fight. C9 Highsball is just going to go back and relax a little. But, yeah, Tristana going to be trying to clear these minion waves. Full Caliber actually goes through. He has to pop the Curse of the Sad Mummy. I don't know why Spooknook's teleporting in. They could just back off here, but he actually decides to. Now he's going to be coming in through the front. Medea gets an ultimate, but it's only on Thresh, so that means Spook just completely destroys him, and Vayne's going to be able to kill the Frump. Oh my gosh. Now Xerath ult comes out. Doesn't quite land the ultimate, but it's okay because powder kegs galore. He's getting his booty, and now he's looking towards Seki. A great flash, petrifying gaze, but just not do quite enough damage because that barrier comes out, and Spooknook was not stunned by that, or he just used his remove scurvy. So he's just able to get through. C9 Highsballs saying, "Hey guys, what are you doing? I'm alive. Why aren't you guys?" So he'll be trying to defend this solo. And Vayne saying, "Dang, he has Negatron Cloak, and you still all wrecked me." Yeah, that's what happens when you have Cassiopeia with the Rabadon's Death Cap. And you can see those barrel crits are doing 1,400 damage. That is absolutely ridiculous. And especially when you have something like a Mumu to lock down multiple members of the enemy team to allow your powder kegs to tick down and trigger them. You saw what happened in that fight. Also, it was very important that Medea ulted the single target Thresh. So he did not even kill Thresh, and then his main team fight contribution was down. I say main team fight contribution in that sense because that was a very closed fight in that choke point. So really the most valuable thing he also would bring to that kind of fight would be the AoE knockup as opposed to his ability to skirmish in wide open areas. And so now they're going to be showing out the mid lane. They are aware that Baron is up in 1 minute. Yasuo going to be pushing the bottom side. He does have teleport, so he actually could stay down on this turret and teleport in. I think that would probably be the better thing to do because you force the enemy team to answer, and Spooknook does not have his teleport since he used it in the last fight. So I guess he wants to group mid instead. I don't really like that decision very well. Red team really needs to get some better vision control because you can see their entire jungle is completely dark. And if blue team were to go through here and set up a Baron bait, red team would be pretty vulnerable to that. And they even have a pink ward so they could clear that if they wanted to in the Baron pit. But I don't know if blue team is really aware of that being an option. They might just be waiting because Baron is still 25 seconds from respawning. But in the bottom side, blue team does have a slow wave pushing in their favor, so eventually they'll be able to have that pressure on the bottom side. That'll be pretty important in about a minute or a minute and a half. So if they were to pull back right here and try to bait the Baron, that could allow the minion wave to shove out and then force the red team to have Yasuo down there or somebody else to clear the wave. They could also use that and just sit at the turret for the next minute or so. Then when the huge wave hits, they could all walk over to the bottom side and take advantage of it and try to get a turret kill off that. But it is very difficult for them to siege this because you have Cassiopeia, who not only does great poke damage and wave clear, but she... Oh, actually, hook lands onto Medea. But yeah, they also have the Leona to hard engage on the Vayne if she tries to poke in some auto damage. And now Hypergolic actually is in a bad position, but Amumu gets a 4-man ultimate. Are they going to be able to get the Xerath follow-up damage? Looks like they will. And now everyone's popping. Medea tries to get a solo ultimate onto Volcalibur. And then that will be a double kill for the Xerath. That's completely aced. That will be the inhibitor and possibly even the game coming out here for the blue side. Volcalibur can be able to tank that. Actually has a Zanya's on the Amumu and the Zeke's Harbinger. I actually really like the Zeke's because you have a really hyper-scaling AD carry like Vayne, who will benefit so much from that critical strike chance. But Amumu still scales with the ability power and cooldown reduction that it gives. Vandaman saying, nice stream, man. Thanks, dude. And that might be the game. They still have a little minions. I don't know if they can really tank this. Actually, the enemy team is coming up in 5 seconds. Are they going to be able to stop this? Here comes the Frump. He's angry. He wants some solar flares to go off, but he does still have the solar flare. Is C9 Highsball going to be able to do it? The solar flare actually misses, slows down Xerath a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Here comes Tristana. Oh, is she going to get 1 kill? There's the reset. Can she get on the Hypergothic? I'm not sure. She's a little out of range. Did she already use the reset on the rocket jump? Yeah, so okay, she can't actually do it. But if Leona were to land his Xenos Blade, okay. Cassiopeia catches up with the Rylai's. I thought that would be the end of the game, but it looks like they're still alive by the skin of their teeth, which is a really weird saying because teeth with skin is a really weird concept, but Tristana actually flashes over to try to dodge. Oh my gosh! A great Buster Shot pushes the rest of the team into Cassiopeia and gives them the double kill, but Spooknoke is so strong right now. What the heck is happening? He has double Infinity Edge into the needlessly large rod. What am I witnessing right now? The rise of the Orange Army. I don't believe that his abilities scale with ability power besides the orange. His ultimate does a little bit, but yeah, that's very curious coming out. Wow, so I thought the Buster Shot would have allowed them to... Nah, we still going. I would have thought that would have allowed him to pick it up, but he instantly deleted Cassiopeia, and with the amount of damage coming in from here and the hard engage on Amumu, I really want to see a Zanya's Hourglass come out from the Seki on Cassiopeia, because things like that, where you can get your dots onto Gangplank and then Zanya's and allow your abilities to come back off cooldown, might have been enough to allow their team to win that fight. And now blue side is going to try to set up a Baron bait, but they just throw a ward over the wall. That's why the Pixel Brush bait does not work quite as well if you're on the blue side, because you do have this huge area to kind of peek over the Baron. But now Seki, he actually has the Elixir of Wisdom, which a lot of people only buy the elixirs when they're at full build because they have nothing else to spend money on. But if you think about it in terms of you want to buy it near the end of the game, this makes a lot of sense, because if they manage to lose another fight, then that would be game for the blue side. But if you get the elixir, and if the elixir gives you that tiny edge to win the fight, that could completely swing it or prevent you from losing. So having that in the clutch last fight of the game will be very helpful. And now Xerath actually going up a little bit close. They're all just kind of waiting around, which is benefiting red side now, honestly, because if the longer they wait, the longer they have for their inhibitor to come up. Actually, Yasuo goes back. If Kim Chi would have followed through on that death sentence, they would have won that fight because Yasuo wasn't there. But he does land another hook, but in response, Seki is absolutely just dissolving their health with that poison. And they do clear out this one little ward. Hypergolic going to be trying to poke as much as he can, but he's just not really landing as much as he maybe should, and he does not quite land that. Arcano Pulse. And yeah, look at this huge bot lane for the red side. This is completely working against blue side. Not only do they have the advantage, so the longer they wait, the more money red will be able to get, but also they lose the turret in the bottom lane. Oh, actually, Momo going in, but the rest of his team isn't quite there to follow up, and now the From following with a great stun. And again, they're just sitting around this Baron doing nothing. They're forced to send Gangplank bottom. He does have teleport, so it won't be too big of an issue, especially because he can immediately contribute to fights with his Cannon Barrage. But now, here comes Light of Dawn! Oh my gosh, there's no wards! He's just gonna auto-attack the Nexus, but nobody can even get back in time! What is this? Light of Dawn just walks over and wins. I guess that's a way to end the game. Well, okay. Well played by both teams. I guess that's why you want to have your base entrance warded. Kind of an anticlimactic finish to such an intense end of the game, but well, anticlimactic finish to such a how close the game got in terms of its fights. But yeah, you look at the damage that Gangplank and Cassiopeia were spitting out, just doing so much, and also pretty big in that. I'm surprised that Amumu did that much. Actually, he did have the Zanya, so I guess a little more ability power with the Zeeks. So very interesting build. You know, I haven't seen that much Amumu. High did play against Gravity, but it didn't work out too well. But I do really like Volcalibur's choices here, because that did allow them to get a little more of that burst to help Vayne clean up. Is there room? I'm not sure. I think I have to dip out to eat dinner, but good games, guys. So intense. GG. That's only because I'm allowed to play those three in ranked. Alright, so I will end this stream now, but thanks for tuning in. I hope it was pretty enjoyable. I've been trying to work on... dang, I just got 14 viewers. But I'm sorry, friends. I'm hungry. And I should probably do my homework. I've been playing a bunch since like 3 p.m. So I'll have to take a break, but hope you guys enjoy. If you want to get in on some of this in-house action, you can go to the open up your chat channels, which is this tab right next to your friends list. Create or join a public chat room and just type in UMCP. And then when you're in the channel, you can click auto join on startup. Make sure that thing is a little checked off. And then whenever you log in, you can check out the rest of the club and see if anyone wants a duo, do some games, or whatever. Oh, hey, Light of Dawn. How's it going, man? All right. Well, thanks, friend.